on South Florida's Health and Wealth Network, AM 1470 WNN.
What you want to know. What you need to know. This is South Florida's Health and Wealth Radio, AM 1470 WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the Know Nothing Show with Alan Elkins and Rich Friedman, who have been in the legal profession for over 30 years, and now want to share their experience and knowledge with you, the public. Hey, maybe they do know a little something. Join Alan and Rich by calling in at 888-565-1470 or watching them on elkinsandfriedman.com on Monday nights. And now, here's Alan Elkins and Rich Friedman.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alan Elkins, along with
Richard Friedman, and we're here again for another Elkins and Friedman show.
That's right. Now, last week we at least I took off, and I hear at the last minute your wife became sick or you chickened out and said, "Hey,
had something else to do."
Saturday, like what? Breathing? What'd you have to do?
I'll tell you another time.
All right. Now, as you can see, sitting next to Richard, we have a lovely lady, and her name is Lorene. I don't know. These days, are you going by Small or are you going by Hodge? What are you going by? Okay, so Lorene is. I always call you Lorene. Have I called you the wrong name for all these years, or is it Lorene?
I said Lorene.
It is Lorene.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we have Lorene Hodge and Lorene. I really appreciate you taking the time to be here. I know you're a little nervous. First time in front of the mic.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So Lorene, before we jump into our action-packed, exciting show, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do?
I'm an esthetician.
Okay, and what does that do?
An esthetician.
An esthetician.
An esthetician.
What do you think that is?
An esthetician. I mean, anesthesia?
I knew it. Everybody
Are
thinks
you
that.
kidding me?
You put people to sleep.
I wish. I'd make
Richard,
a ton
there's
of
a
money
mic.
if I was
Put it in front of
if I
your
did
face.
anesthesia.
What?
Richard, even I know an esthetician. They usually take homely women. They try to make them more attractive. Is that kind of it, Lorene? Or did I
Well-
miss that?
I mean, Botox injections?
No?
No. I do facials. I do skincare. Okay,
Wow.
so facials, massage. It's in that same type of business.
Same type of
Okay.
business?
Makeup. I do makeup, waxing.
Waxing?
Okay.
Waxing, and when we're talking about waxing, we're talking full body waxing.
Whatever somebody needs.
Really?
Yes.
I bet you've seen some things
that-
that would probably curl your,
Is that
your
when you
toenails.
like for men, you like put that thing on their chest and then you pull it off
Rip
and all
it
the hair
off.
comes
Yep.
with it?
Yes.
Is that painful?
For men it is.
Is it?
Because men have no pain tolerance.
Well, Richard, you're asking because
want-
would you like
you want
Lorene
me
to
to
pull
try?
a full body wax on
I
you,
can do like your
perhaps?
arm for you.
Really?
And, yeah.
Actually, Rich is
Wow.
pretty hairy. At Elkins and Freeman, we're not
Yeah.
some of these clean-shaven guys. I mean,
Wow, I don't
we're
know.
the hairy side. You could lose a little hair there, Richard. Now that I think about it.
Maybe I could put it on top of my head.
But getting back to the women, let me ask you. Woman comes in, she's got a mustache that looks like, out of style. What do you do for something like that?
Well, first of all, we don't call it a mustache for a woman. That would be insulting. I just wax her.
You
know,
just
put
wax her?
wax on, yeah.
Put a little wax on that hand. You ever seen like the handle?
We call it for a woman. It's called an upper lip. They don't call it a
So
mustache.
you do the upper lip, put a little wax on there, and just rip that sucker off.
Uh-huh.
Well, you do the legs too, I guess, for women too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably
Yes.
pretty common.
Yep.
You get some. Well, about how often does a woman to stay nice and groomed? How often they have to see you?
For waxing, 3 to 4 weeks.
All right,
It's
well, that's
once
not
every
bad.
3 to 4 weeks.
So you've
yeah,
been
as
doing
opposed to
this.
shaving, because if you shave, you have to shave every day. So.
Get the nasty razor stubble.
Yes. Yes, it is, and it's rougher.
Nothing worse
smoother.
than getting next to a woman who has like Brillo pad on her legs. It's just like disgusting.
That happens too often?
So yeah. No, but you. All right, we won't even go there. All right, so moving right along. Okay, now would be a good time. We'll talk about topics.
Yeah,
Now,
talk about topics.
All right, talk about topics. Well, first thing I wanted to talk about, it's football's back. We have college football. We have the NFL kicked off. Well, actually, I think they kicked off on Thursday, but last weekend, full slate of games, and there were some exciting games.
Did I tell you in college, girls thought I was on the football team?
Really? What position did you play?
I heard one say to the other, I can't wait till Rich kicks off.
He kicks off, yeah. I first heard that joke, ladies and gentlemen, about 35 years ago. It wasn't funny then, and it's still not funny. All right, so
Yeah.
Dolphins won, and then
Chicago Bears.
Chicago Bears. Now you're a Chicago girl, are you
I'm
not?
a Chicago girl. Yep.
And you grew up, I think we said in the little pre-interview, you grew up a Bears fan.
Yep. I grew up. My family were season ticket holders. My grandfather had season tickets to the Bears games, and my family still
So
has
the
them.
family kept it the whole time, probably very valuable.
Yep. Mhm.
Okay, now I'm put you. You say you're a football fan. Name me 3 Chicago Bears players right now. Can you
Okay,
do that?
the only ones I could name are like the 1985 Bears team.
All right. Oh, that was where the McMahon years, I remember, right? I remember that.
McMahon, Walter Payton. Everybody knows Walter Payton.
Yeah.
The Fridge, Perry.
And the Fridge.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
I remember him. Boy,
Now,
he was
let
a
me
big
ask
guy.
you-
Remember
do
Doug Flutie was a Bear.
Well, Doug Flutie, I remember still being the University of Miami in a college game. We don't even want to talk about that. But Doug Flutie was a good quarterback. But let me ask you, who's quarterback now? You tell me the quarterback right now? Bears? Can't tell me.
I don't watch
It's a pretty
football.
good game. But
I
they
don't.
won. Did you watch the game? Mm-mm. Didn't even watch the game? And how do
No.
you call yourself a Bears
Because
fan?
I'll root for them anyways, no matter
All
what.
right,
I'm
very
from
good.
Chicago. It doesn't matter.
And Richard, were you watching any football this weekend?
No.
No. what were you doing? Feeding the pigeons? What?
Doing my laundry.
Were you doing the laundry? We'll talk about it another time, but you separate the colors from the whites? Just asking.
No.
Well, the reason I talk about football, because made me think about that. There was actually a great game on last night. Now, those were the Packers 49ers. Just great game at the 49ers Candlestick Park, which is in its last year. But what I thought was interesting, where you have football, you have stupid fans. Well, this one actually did a high dive off a walkway and died.
Yeah, I heard about that on the news, yeah.
So it said here, a male fan fell from a walkway which goes around the stadium, and he appeared to be intoxicated.
People
So-
drink at football games?
People drink at football. So this
Wow.
idiot had a little too much. He identified as 30 years old, took a swan dive right off the stadium. And the worst part is he did it about 1:30, so he missed a very exciting game. So shame on him. So along the same lines, it was college football this weekend too, and I got this
College.
article out of the paper. Okay, this was at University of Central Florida's football team, so I love this story. It says University of Central Florida's, at their first game, they found a drunken woman urinating inside the parking garage at the stadium.
Oh, hold on. I think she was on our show a couple of weeks ago.
Woman urinating? Who would that have been? No, she wasn't on her show. But it says here that the investigating officer found Christine Johnson, age 20, from Sarasota, naked from the waist down. Okay, naked from the waist down. She
Well,
was
how else
picking-
are you going to pee if you're...
Hey, you gotta go. I understand. Look, I feel bad. I
Because
know
there's a long line in the women's.
the women. You do
Well,
have to
guys
wait.
do it all the time.
But is that unbelievable? So it said here she was yelling and cursing at strangers. She faces multiple charges, including exposure of sexual organs, disorderly conduct, and a battery on a law enforcement officer.
She hit the guy.
So apparently, the moral of the story is, I guess, urinate before you go to the game. Try not to drink, and if you do, leave your clothes on.
Or sneak into the men's room when no one's watching.
That's true.
Yeah.
Or in your case,
Done
sneak
that.
into the ladies' room. I know you've done that once or twice. All right, that's article number
Only when you
one.
told me to. All right.
That's right. Now, I don't know why I'm reporting on this. This is a slow news day, and I'm sad to say I don't have any sex stories this week.
Oh, thank God.
Because
Daryl will be glad to hear that.
And Daryl's a fellow that works with us, and he says, Alan, you're always talking about sex stories. Well, I couldn't find any stories involving any of the male or female genitalia, so we'll go with this.
Okay.
For the third time in a week, they have found a record-sized gator in Mississippi.
And the football team?
Nobody's
or-
excited. No. So I read earlier in the week they found the largest alligator ever. Yeah, we're short on news this week, guys.
The largest alligator what? in history?
Largest alligator, which weighed something like 723 pounds. That was last week.
Wow.
A few days later, somebody reeled in an alligator weighing 720 pounds. And now, not making this up, this thing is huge. It says that they nabbed the heaviest alligator ever, weighing 741 pounds. That's a big gator.
That's a big
A
gator.
lot of gator meat. I don't have anything else to say other than wow. It's a keeper, the Guinness Book of Records. I haven't seen anything that big since. You want to finish my joke for me? I better.
I won't even go near it.
All right, you
That
don't even go there. All right, that's it. Now,
Yes.
probably my favorite story of the week. Favorite story. Iowa great state of Iowa, is now decided that they will grant gun permits to the blind.
Gun permits
Gun
to the
permits
blind.
to the blind, okay? Yeah, we have to be politically correct here. It says Iowa's giving people who are blind permits which will allow them to purchase and carry guns in public. Okay, now to me that seems rather idiotic, does it not?
A little bit.
Okay, weigh in, panel. What do you think, Lorene? Is that stupid or what?
Yeah.
Now, somebody says, hey, blind people can be taught to use guns, and blocking a visually impaired person for obtaining a weapons permit would violate the Americans with Disabilities Act. Well, I say hogwash. It's nonsense.
How would they know where they are?
Look, if they start allowing, and I've got nothing against blind people, it's great, but come on, you know, hold still. You know what that's like? The next thing, what are they going to tell us? That pilots can be blind? You know, we're going to violate somebody's rights? You know, get on it. Well, we have remote control. He's a little
Right.
blind, can't see so well. That's idiotic. So I'm thinking about it. One other thing, and by the way, if we have anybody out there in radio land, feel free to call in at 1-888-565-1470. Okay, well, again, 888-565-1470. Tell me, what profession do you think that, you know, there's some, we got to draw a limitation here. You know, if you're blind, you can't do
Well,
what?
certain thing. I mean, you could be a blind attorney,
Well, blind
but you
attorney.
can't be a blind surgeon, I don't think. But you could be a blind attorney.
blind surgeon.
Especially since justice is blind anyway.
Very
so
good,
why can't you have
Richard.
blind attorneys?
Just holding it with you. Okay. So I said you can't have a blind pilot. I'm thinking, you know, I don't want to go to Edward Scissorhands for my hair. If you have a blonde hairstylist, I don't think that would work so
Makeup
well.
artist.
Makeup
Right.
artist. You know, that reminds me of the attorney that wears when she wears the makeup. You think somebody was blind putting that makeup on? You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? It's one female attorney in Broward County. Those are listening. Listen, that woman doesn't know how to put on makeup. Like, you know, maybe she grew up without her mother. When she takes that lipstick, it's smeared like a circle, like a clown around her face. I know. I always wondered about that.
Maybe no one ever said anything to me.
All right. Here, how about anything involved with a cosmetic procedure? I says, hey, listen, I need to look into your bladder. And I'm thinking, you know, as far as I know, I don't have a door to my bladder, you know?
I guess he made one for you.
The only way isn't so pleasant. So I'm thinking about that. So, yeah, look, I sucked it up, you know, so to speak,
Yeah.
you know? And you know what the worst part is? And I don't remember this. I had this done once before, okay? And I don't know if women, you know, maybe when women go to the gynecologist, they got to get in those stirrups, you know, that's why you're, oh, maybe they want a woman. Not a pleasant experience, right?
Right.
So listen, so what they have to
It's not
do,
fun.
so if you're a guy, and you go in there, they have to numb you up. Well, now that I think about it, I don't know if I'm better off that it was a female nurse that kind of numbs up the area there. And you know
Right.
what we're talking about? We're talking about little Elkins here. I should call them big.
Tiny
Okay.
No, not big Elkins. So anyway, are you better off having a woman numb up a little? I don't know why. I'm
Well, I
cracking
would
myself
think
up.
you'd probably rather.
A woman
wouldn't
or a
you?
man? Yeah, now that I think about it.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't think I'd want to have anybody do that.
No, that's true.
But I guess if you had a
Unfortunately, that wasn't
choice,
happening. Well, what about you? What's your choice, man or woman?
I'd probably go with the woman.
Anyway, so she
A
did
blind
what
one or one that can see?
she had. No,
She better be able to see.
So she did what she had to do. Then the doctor comes in there, and I guess they stick some kind of scope up there so they can look inside the
Right.
bladder. Not very pleasant. So I get all done, and actually it was pretty quick and relatively painless.
Yeah.
Except for the guy says to me, you know, this is a true story. After I left there, I had to drive up to Jacksonville. For a hearing. So I tell the guy, and he goes, "Oh, that's not such a good idea because one of the effects is constant urination." So I'm thinking, "Oh, that's just great, doctor. I picked the wrong day for this. So I figure every
You think
30
so?
minutes I'll be pulling over to the side of the road." So anyway, I don't know how we deviated, but the point is, I guess
How was the trip to Jacksonville? That's
well,
the
that
point.
was great. That was a great case. My client's very happy.
You didn't
And
have to
by
stop on the way?
Just once. One stop. Yeah, I combined the gas stop with the eating at the McDonald's stop with the urinations.
Well, hey,
Worked out beautifully.
3 for 1.
3 for 1. And anyway, so my last thing was anything involving cosmetic procedures. You want a guy that's sighted, nothing personal. And then the last one I was going to say were blind referees, but we already have those. So it's a little joke there. Got a laugh out of Richard. All right, there we go. Story number 2.
Yes.
All right, now, the next story I had, you guys are going to play along because apparently there is it's called an oddly morbid poll by both Vanity Fair and 60 Minutes. And what they did, they asked Americans to decide what dead celebrity they would most want to bring back to life. What dead celebrity they would most want to bring back.
This was already a poll, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, this
I
is
know
true.
which one I would want to bring back.
Okay, well, wait, we're going to go around the room. First, Richard.
Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe, dead celebrity. That would be
Yep.
interesting. All right, why Marilyn?
I want to find out about her and Kennedy.
All right, very
You know,
interesting.
they've been talking about her for all these years.
It's true. You could hear it firsthand. She tell you. You know, the scary part is I think Marilyn would be in her 70s now or something like that. But beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Now, just call out. We have other guests in the room. Who would you want? Who would be your dead celebrity?
John Lennon, that's a good one.
Yeah, it is a good
Yeah.
one. Think of all the music John Lennon would have
Elvis. I would
created.
do
Elvis
Elvis
Presley?
Presley.
Yeah.
Elvis, fat Elvis or thin Elvis?
Oh,
Any
then-
Elvis.
Well, but today, let's
You know.
see, how old would he be? And so,
He'd probably
can't
be,
even
probably be
imagine.
about 80, I guess.
Yeah, I'm trying.
He
Boy,
was
that-
only like 41 or 42 when he died.
No. Well, guess what, guys? You know who the number one was? Number one, Princess Diana.
That's a
That
good
was
one, yeah.
Number one, Princess Diana. In fact, let's see. You've called out. I'm going to give you a couple guesses. Other people that were on the list. And some of them aren't. Think about
None of the
it
ones
for a
that we
second.
mentioned?
None of the ones.
Really?
No, none of the ones you mentioned.
Were they in the sports field or acting or
Okay.
music?
One was two of them were famous singers.
Whitney Houston?
Yeah, that's one of
oh,
them.
wow, so recent.
Richard got Whitney Houston. Freddie here is Googling to learn the answer. You're not Googling, Freddie, are you? You're just
Yeah, no
talking
cheating,
about-
no cheating.
No cheating. All right. Well, here I'll tell you another one. His
Okay.
his first initial is M.
Michael Jackson.
Michael
Michael
Jackson.
Jackson.
Yeah, we could hear about how many boys he allegedly assaulted. All right. He was a great performer, a great
Yes.
performer. Okay, we have a grunge rocker on the list.
Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain, very good.
I'm a music
All right, and we have a Batman on the list.
Oh,
Batman?
yeah, I forgot his
you
name.
remember the guy?
who beat-
Yeah, that's the guy.
Suicide,
Heath
right?
Ledger. Yeah,
Yeah.
Heath Ledger's
Okay,
on
yeah.
the list.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, we have one TV mobster on the list.
Oh,
television-
James Gandolfini.
Gandolfini.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sopranos. They like him to come back.
But you know what? But let me ask you, who did they take the survey with? What was the type
morons.
of group? No, but what was the
Yeah,
group?
I
Was
don't
it
know.
young or old?
Says there, poll respondents had to pick from. Oh, okay. They gave me a list. Okay, they gave me a list of 7 deceased celebrities. Says that even though Di was the only non-American on the list, she won convincingly. So she
But
never.
I'm just curious how old the people that they surveyed were.
You know,
were they
it
like in
honestly
their
doesn't
20s
say.
or in their 60s?
But I'll tell you who number 2 was. They have a new product coming on the market tomorrow. See if you can guess from that.
A new product? What, a cell phone?
Yeah,
iPhone?
yeah.
Stephen Jobs.
Steve Jobs. Yeah.
He was number 2.
He was number 2, Stephen Jobs. Think what else
Wow.
he might have come up with, being the smart guy that he was. Anyway, that's the next story. We get rid of that story.
All right, what do you got
Yeah.
next for us?
All right, the next story I found kind of amusing. Remember 2 weeks ago we did the story on the MTV Awards, and you remember Miley Cyrus?
Yeah,
went
they're
all
still talking
crazy.
about that.
Still talking about it, but what I thought was interesting, she was twerking. And everybody know what twerking is? That's when you're
tweaking?
shaking your behind. No, it's
That's
it's
when you're-
twerking.
Twittering, not twittering.
Not
Twittering.
twittering, Richard. No,
Okay.
it's actually twerking.
Twerk,
Yeah,
okay.
no, I don't know. Have you ever had anybody twerk for you, even in a strip club? No, it was too
No.
long ago. Yeah, all right. Anyway, so it says here, a girl taking a video of herself twerking ended up falling over onto a table and catching on fire. In the greatest and most hilarious twerking fall ever.
Catching
So,
on fire? What
it's
did
on
she fall on?
YouTube. She fell on something. If you want to, let me see. She posted a video on her page. She's already had 2 million hits. But somehow this idiot caught herself on fire. Don't ask me how,
All
but
right.
that's that story. All right, moving right along.
If we run out of stories, we might have to talk about the law.
Yeah, we might have. I have 2 of those stories for the very end. How much time do we have? We still got 10 minutes. We may end up talking about it. Now, this next story made me laugh, okay? Tom Cruise is looking for a new girlfriend, okay?
Not a wife, but just a girlfriend.
Well, maybe a wife, because everybody knows we have Mr. Scientology. Anybody out there practices Scientology, what do I care? I think it's kind of ridiculous, but
Hey,
what
to
can
each
you
his
do?
own.
Yeah, to each his own. So anyway, we know how Katie Holmes got away from Tom Cruise.
Right.
And, she's apparently doing really well, renounced it. As a matter of fact, in that Leah Remini, who's going to be on Dancing with the Stars, she was the most famous one that escaped from the
That's right,
clutches
there's
of
a big story about her,
Scientology.
yep.
You know what I'm talking about? King of Queens actress. She was in it forever, and she had the audacity to
I
ask
know who
about
she is.
the founder's wife, like how come she hasn't been seen in 10 years. So the Scientologist got really upset about it. She said, I had enough of you, and got out. But what I think that's interesting, and I had read about this, that even with Tom Cruise's last wife, they kind of go out and recruit for him. Okay, and they always have. Like
They recruited Katie Holmes?
I don't know if they recruited Katie Holmes. That's a good question, actually. So we ought to Google that while we're doing it. But here's
So wait, the Scientologists will go out and try to find him?
They
right
try
now?
to find him a wife, and I think what happened, Katie
find his
Holmes.
own?
The problem, well, you'd think
He's Tom
so. He's a
Cruise.
big star.
Yeah, I think
but
someone
you know
would go
what?
out with him.
I think because he screwed up with Katie Holmes, that they want to keep it in the family now. Because I can remember Tom Cruise's first wife. I can't remember her name, but he actually had a first wife who was a Scientologist. That marriage broke up, and then you remember he was married to Nicole Kidman. And she couldn't get away from that guy quick enough, and also, renounced Scientology. In fact, I think because of that, she doesn't have a relationship with the two kids, I think, that they adopted.
Oh, wow.
Long story. Anyway, so here's what it says. Tom Cruise is launching a search for a new girlfriend. The Hollywood star has been single since splitting from Katie Holmes last year. It seems he's eager to settle down and looking for a new relationship. However, Tom is very choosy when it comes to love. It says, according to a British magazine, the 51-year-old actor is looking for someone who is a member of the church. He's been looking for the last 5 years, who's been in Scientology for at least the last 5 years and is involved in the entertainment industry. The lady has to also be both brainy and in her mid to late 30s. I think Tom's 51 years old, so Tom's looking for the younger broad.
Yeah. I know a few people who like the younger women.
Yeah. Well, I believe, I've said my credo in marriages is
What's that?
keep going younger and better looking. But I'm a pig, and I admit it. I'm a pig. Okay. It says Tom needs to be strict about his criteria because he wants to avoid a disastrous match, and he needs him to understand his hectic lifestyle and all that comes with it. So they've offered to fix him up, and they think that they have a possible candidate. It says Tom was introduced to the lucky lady at a recent gala for Scientology. That must be a barrel of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Scientology party. Tom seemed impressed, but he's keen to see who else might be out there. He was recently linked to a model named Jessica White. And then, I don't know, enough of that. So you'd think Tom Cruise. And I got to admit, I like the guy's movies. I know that certain people...
Risky Business, great movie.
Yeah, Rich, it's about 100 years ago. I know. I know. But actually, all his movies, and the guy stayed in phenomenal shape. He stayed in phenomenal shape. I think a lot of women, though, got
He
turned
looks
up.
really young. Yeah.
They got turned up by Tom Cruise when he was jumping up and down, I think, on the...
Oprah?
On Oprah's sofa, and then when he made fun of who's the other actress? Remember, he made fun of an actress because she needed her meds.
Oh.
Remember that whole thing? And Tom doesn't believe in any medicine. It was Brooke Shields. He
Yeah,
had some words
she
with
was on
Brooke Shields.
antidepressants or something, right?
Yeah,
Is that
after
what-
she had a baby, and
Yes.
then he got into some altercation with Matt Lauer. Now who's more unpopular? You think right now, Matt Lauer or Tom Cruise?
Probably Tom Cruise.
You think so? You think so? That says a
Yeah.
lot, doesn't it?
I think so.
People I know don't like Matt Lauer. All right, so geez, we're almost out of story. You have any? Did you get any free meals this weekend, Rich?
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yep.
Who took you to a free meal this
client.
weekend? Really?
I'm trying
Where'd
to
you
think.
go?
I'm trying to think. Where did he take me?
I thought you guys were supposed to buy clients dinner.
No, clients buy me dinner all the time. I
Really?
usually get 3 or 4 dinners because
Why?
my clients.
Tell me why.
Because they get
Look how proud this man
they
is.
get legal information out of me.
Oh, they
In other
pump
words,
you
if
for
I go to an office and they pay for a consultation fee, it's going to be $125, $150, maybe $200. So they can buy me dinner for $30. They come out way ahead.
Well,
Wait a minute,
I'll take
dinner.
you out to lunch.
What a pig.
Yeah,
Well,
you love it.
not if my wife has anything to say
Oh,
about
she'll
it.
never
but-
know. She's probably not even listening.
All right, Richard.
Thanks for that tip.
Oh yeah,
I hope everybody
doesn't
heard
make
that.
sense.
Seriously,
Doesn't make
Never
sense.
pay for consultation.
You don't have to pay him for a consultation. Just take you to lunch, Alan.
Richard is truly the cheapest attorney. If anybody knows of a cheap attorney, that might be a segment, okay? Do you know an attorney cheaper than Rich Friedman? If
You
so,
mean as in inexpensive, or?
no, I mean cheap. As cheap as cheap can be. Call us at 888-565-1470. All right, jeez, we got to talk legal here.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's talk about one legal subject.
Okay, one legal subject.
Go ahead.
You know, divorce can take a long time sometimes to get resolved. Now, our trusty legal assistant went up and found this article. A divorce that's been going on for 10 years.
How long was the marriage?
5 years. I read the article. They're still arguing about, apparently this guy's had custody of the children taken away from him. It's just crazy. She claims that he's libeled her and damaged her reputation and once punched her in the face. She says that he's I know it's in here, I'll paraphrase, a total nut job. Okay? He has said that the court system is biased against fathers. And then the thing I thought that was interesting here is that the wife at some point, the husband was a pretty big executive working on a company, and allegedly he provided insider information on a stock to his new employee. I guess he had been working for Microsoft. So what happened, I love this, the wife or the ex-wife, I guess she's an ex-wife. You know, for anybody out there, you can sometimes have what's called a bifurcation where you can legally get divorced, but the court still leaves open for another day to resolve sometimes children issues or assets. So anyway, so what did she do? She turned him in to the SEC for insider trading and got $1 million award. $1 million.
Wow.
Wow.
So-
Nice way to make a living.
I know. So do you have any dirt, Lorene, on any of your ex-spouses?
Any of my ex-husbands?
Your ex-husbands, I know.
How many are there?
Just one.
Just one. That's
Just
not
one.
Yeah,
bad.
one ex,
Yeah.
and I guess we'll visit him in court in about a month, I think.
Yeah,
About a month, but
And if you want me
Yeah.
to go instead of Alan, let me know.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
well, if she'd like to win the case, she'll probably use me. But thanks for offering.
But
Anyway.
you get to take me to lunch if I go.
Well, that's right. That's the bargain. Rich goes with you. You can buy him afterward, regardless of the outcome.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't need to buy you lunch when we're done.
Thanks a
Well,
lot.
that's right. Yeah, maybe feed him beforehand. Maybe we'll do a good job. It's like the animal. All right, well, we got what, Freddie? We got a minute left.
Is that 1 second or 1 minute?
I got one other thing that again, the same assistant was looking for, and this I didn't know. And since we're bankruptcy attorneys, it would be good.
Yes.
You know, sometimes we give people advice. You file bankruptcy, it really helps you reestablish your credit. I believe in a shorter period of time, because sometimes it looks good if you're working that you got rid of the debt.
Right. Your debt ratio is better.
Yeah,
You
your
can't file
scores
bankruptcy
usually
again
go
for
up.
8 years.
And what do we normally tell people? You can go out and get a mortgage within a couple
About
of
2 years for a mortgage and credit cards right away
Well,
and car
listen
loans
to
right
this.
away.
Apparently, there's a recent change which says by the FHA, Federal Housing Administration, that says that after waiting for as little as a year, you are now eligible, but you have to show that your foreclosure or bankruptcy was caused by a job loss or reduction in income that was beyond your control. But if you show that now 1 year, folks, you
That's
can
pretty
go out
good.
and get a new FHA loan.
Excellent. Good
And
information
now,
for
we
our
just
listeners.
managed, Richard, we managed to fill our action-packed half an hour.
Wow,
We even
was
got
it?
2 legal subjects. So I want to thank everybody. Lorene, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, how would they do that? What should they do? You have a website? Or are you not doing the facial?
No, I do.
right
I do. I do it.
You have a website you want to give?
I don't have
Real
a
quick?
website.
All right.
Well,
what you can do is contact
Elkinson
our office.
Friedman. That's right.
And ask for us.
Contact us, and I will pass the lovely Lorene's phone number on. Another show is over,
Excellent.
Richard. I guess
Excellent.
we'll
Now,
see you next week.
Next Monday, same time, 6 o'clock right here.
Right.
Take
Goodbye,
care, everyone.
everybody.
You have been listening to the Elkins and Friedman Know Nothing Show, where maybe you learned a little something today. To reach their offices, call 954-772-6014 or toll free 1-800-992-1277. Tune in again next time for more Elkins and Friedman. The opinions expressed on the